letting all of you know that this is an editorial, okay? There is a news story happening, and I don't really think it even should be a news story. Derek Chauvin, you know the name, he was convicted for the murder of George Floyd. He's in prison, okay? And the ABC station KSTP in Minneapolis published a story this morning that really, in my opinion, should not even have been a story because I think it could be inciting more, maybe even violence, possibly down the road for no reason. There's never a reason for violence, ever. But this story kind of got everything stirred up. I want to show you the story. I want to have you look at it on your screen here, and I'm going to bring it up and show you. Take a look at the headline right there. Minneapolis and state leaders prepare for possible Derek Chauvin pardon. Okay, well, looking at that headline, it would lead you to believe that he is about to get a pardon from President Trump, right? That's what you would believe. But let's go into the story and scroll down a little bit here. And it says, and I can make it bigger for you. It says, let me make it even bigger. Hold on. Right there, it says multiple sources told Eyewitness News Governor Tim Walz, the Minnesota National Guard, Mayor Jacob Fry, and Hennepin County Sheriff have all been briefed on preparations for possible civil unrest if President Donald Trump pardons former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. Okay. Those sources are unnamed, no named sources. And then down here, this next sentence says, when asked by White House reporters in March about pardoning Chauvin, President Trump replied, no, I have not heard about that. Okay, so there is no evidence whatsoever that a pardon is in the works or that a pardon is going to happen. Only that the governor, Tim Walz of Minnesota, is preparing for one. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. So my commentary right now is not about Chauvin or pardons or any about that. It's only about the reporting. Okay? Let me go on here. It also says sources also told KSTP the Minnesota Department of Corrections is ready to pick up Chauvin at a federal penitentiary and bring him back to Oak Park Heights Prison in Minnesota. Sources, once again, no name sources, and you wonder why people don't trust the media. And it went on and on and on, and it grew into a whole thing of its own. Sources said the city of Minneapolis is almost certain next week the Department of Justice will file a petition to have this done. Now, if this does happen, then absolutely report it. And the fact that this story was probably most likely leaked by someone in the governor's office or within the Minneapolis or Minnesota government, it doesn't mean you need to publish it. You might want to think they might be putting stuff out there for their own narratives. Okay. So let me bring myself back on camera right here. And so, is there any chance Derek Chauvin will be pardoned by Donald Trump? There has been absolutely no evidence of that whatsoever. And I'm not saying anything about that. That's not my purpose of having this discussion. But the problem is, as soon as that station in Minneapolis published that story, it became national news all over the place. Take a look at this. Everywhere. New York Post, Daily Beast, Newsweek, everywhere it was published. So my problem with that, Newsweek, so the one story from the ABC affiliate in Minneapolis blew up nationwide and worldwide, even though it came from unnamed sources and speculation. Is that really a good idea for that station to do a story? Now, if they truly believe their sources, that's fine, I guess. But there is no evidence whatsoever that that pardon is going to happen. So when you talk about media narratives and sort of things, this is how a story blows up into something big. And now everyone's talking about a possible pardon of Derek Chauvin, and there is no evidence absolutely that that's going to happen. So the problem is one local television station in Minneapolis did this story, and then it got picked up by CNN and ABC and CBS and blah, 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 and it went everywhere. But the problem is there's no confirmation that he is going to be pardoned. And the story, some would argue, are trying to fuel the flames of uh, disruption, violence, that sort of thing. Um, One of the sound bites right here, the governor of Minnesota says it behooves us to be prepared. Well, I could say the same thing. I could do a story and say that at some point in the near future, aliens could land on Earth, and they might kill us all. So we need to be prepared for that. It's a possibility; it could happen, but there's no evidence that that's going to happen right now. So it would be pretty stupid for me to publish a story like that. There's some people who would be scared. Most people would think I'm a moron, which some people think that anyway. But my point is, the media needs to be very careful when they publish something because there is no evidence that this is going to happen. And the narratives, it looks like, are coming from the governor's office in Minnesota. Okay, everyone. Thank you for listening. Make sure you are following me, subscribing right here. This has been an editorial. This is my opinion.